showing.
There are new questions in the Fast and Furious matter after a deadline came and went for the Attorney General Eric Holder that could have held him in contempt. BYA on this today because you asked. Here we go. Marty Spitz writes out of Georgia the following. What has become of the House Committee's deadline of May 31 for the Attorney General's cooperation into the investigation of Fast and Furious? Little background. You remember the operation run by the ATF allowed guns purchased in the U.S. to be smuggled into Mexico in hopes of tracking the weapons of drug cartels. Instead, hundreds of guns vanished. At least one found in 2010 where American Border Patrol agent Brian Terry was shot to death. So what about that deadline? Congressman Jason Chaffetz of Utah is one of those leading the charge against Eric Holder. And good morning to you back in your home state of Utah, Salt Lake City. What happened to the deadline?
Well, in an abundance of caution, Speaker Boehner, Eric Cantor, our leader, sent a letter to the White House and Attorney General Holder asking them to answer some very basic questions. That's been nearly a month. And I think the Speaker is probably going to be sufficiently embarrassed by the fact that the Attorney General has also blown him off as they have the subpoena that was issued in October. And I find it totally an embarrassment. I find it totally wrong that the Attorney General would just ignore a subpoena. You can't do that in this country and get away with it.
So what happens now? Is there a new deadline?
Well, the Attorney General is coming before the House Judiciary Committee on Thursday. Our Chairman, Darrell Issa, there are 5 of us on the Oversight and Government Reform Committee, also be on Judiciary, and we got some more questions for the Attorney General.
All right, so what happens now then? You have more questions, maybe he listens, maybe he responds, maybe he doesn't. Is this thing dying slowly?
No, it's not going to go away. The Attorney General has to answer these questions. And remember, Bill, Brian Terry was killed in December of 2010, and it was in March of 2011 that President Obama promised in an interview on Univision that he would get to the bottom of this, that there would be people held accountable, and the Attorney General has not held anybody accountable. The senior level of management, what we want to know from Attorney General Holder is, what did they know, what did they do about, who had this information, and why do they continue to totally ignore this?
But here you are all this time down the road and you're not getting the answers you want. Yeah. We've brought you on television many times. We've talked to Congressman Issa many times, and often we've heard the same thing. Now, I mean, is now the time for you folks to put up or shut up?
Well, I think so. I think that time has come and gone. But look, our leadership, in an abundance of caution, bending over backwards, giving the Attorney General and the White House all the time that they need in order to comply with this, that's the delay, and I don't like it, but that's the way our leadership has taken it. That's the direction that we're going, and Thursday I think will provide some more information. Hopefully the Attorney General will start to be counted.
Two more things quickly here. We'll wait on that, but also when you consider this, the former Attorney General Alberto Gonzales weighed in too. I guess what Eric Holder could do, he could comply partially, and that would perhaps benefit a further delay. Do you see that happening?
Well, I think they're stonewalling us. I think they're trying to slow this thing all the way through November. Remember, when the Secret Service had a scandal, they immediately started firing people. When we had the scandal at the GSA, Martha Johnson, the head of that agency, she stepped down. When we had the scandal that we uncovered there at the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, he eventually stepped down. We've got a dead Border Patrol agent. Where is the outrage on both sides of the aisle? This is totally unacceptable, Bill. And there are a few of us, Trey Gowdy, Chairman Issa, others that have been just furious about what happened with Fast and Furious. But boy, we need some more people stepping up on both sides of the aisle to hold these guys accountable.
And Alberto Gonzales says the Congress has the right and the obligation. Clearly he is in your corner, but I don't think that is much of a surprise to you. Thank you for coming in. We'll pick it up again later in the week. Jason Chaffetz with us out of Salt Lake.
Thank you.